Hey YouTube, it's Davo again. I'm going to talk to you some more about being a good musician. I had a pretty good response from my last video, so I'm going to keep doing these videos as long as you people keep watching them and liking them, and I'm helping people out. Had several responses, people private messaging me and telling me some more ideas and stuff that I could cover. So I'm gonna branch out from this particular series as well and talk about all things music, anything I think I can add to or help somebody with musically. I'm gonna try to do a video on it and help you guys out. I was talking about it, my buddy of mine, Mark, and he said I should make a lesson plan so I can keep things straight. And so bought me a dry erase board, and I got my list out of things I want to cover, and that way I can keep it all straight. And thanks, Mark, for that. And he got me thinking about a couple of things. And last night, this weekend really, I had a gig, and it reminded me of a few things I need to cover. Number one, these rules per se are not exactly rules. They're suggestions, and they don't always apply. They're not hard, fast rules that you always have to follow. And in fact, sometimes if you try to follow them, it'll hurt you more than help you. You gotta use your common sense and try to decide what's best in your situation. Case in point, last video we talked about angling your guitar amp, how you should always angle it. Well, I made a liar out of myself on that one last night at the gig this weekend. In that situation, the stage area is level with the dance area. There's no stage riser. We're on the same plane as everyone else. And so when the crowd, it gets filled up, and they're right there on the other side of my microphone. So if you think about it, if I have my guitar amp angled at my head, pointed where I can hear it, then the people right there in front of me, that's all they're going to hear. The PA speakers are on the side, they're angled in a little bit, but they're kind of in a dead zone for that. So they're just going to hear my guitar. They're not going to get what they need out of the show. So in that situation, I had to point it straight, like a combo amp sits. So, and pointed it straight out, and that went, to everybody's feet. And that situation, having it down on the ground like that, was the better course of action. I have a little Blues Deluxe Fender 30 watt, 112 speaker, so that point at their feet, that solved the problem of blasting anyone, because last night nobody's laying on the floor listening to the show that I know of. So everything I say is a suggestion for most common situations. There's going to be exceptions, and you just have to use your common sense on that. So I'm not dictating laws to you per se. Next, I want to talk about the singer and microphone handling. I'm a sound man for years, so I see a lot of mistakes in that area, and I'm also a singer in the band. And feedback is a big issue, especially if you're new to using a microphone. You don't want to do the Bob Barker where you hold the microphone like way down or way away from your face. The best place for the microphone, in my opinion, is right up against your lips. If you're a real dynamic singer and you do a lot of falsetto or something, when you're in your normal singing voice or whatever that you sing in most of the time, I'd have it about an inch or so away from there. That when you go to something real soft or falsetto, you can bring it in just that little bit to give you that more presence in the mix. But most of the time, and especially if you have a sound man or you have a compressor on there that equalizes that for you, you just want to have your lips on there. I know some people would disagree about you get more quality from a certain distance, but let Aerosmith or whomever worry about that. This is, we're working musicians and trying to make it easy for everyone, including the sound man. And if you have the microphone way far away, then the sound man has to turn it up in the monitors for you to hear it because you're this far away, and in so doing that, the sound's reflecting off your body into the microphone off the monitors. Plus, it's just picking up everything on stage, plus you, and having the mic that far overdriven to try to pick you up is just inherently going to cause feedback. So basically, just keep it as close to your mouth as possible, and always be aware where the monitors are, and try your best to keep the butt of that microphone at those monitors. Don't be doing this crap right here or anything. I mean, it looks cool in certain situations, but you'll look like a dumbass if you do this, and then there's feedback, and everybody in the band and sound man and the people in the bar are going to dislike you for that. So you lose any cool factor right there. And if you have a wireless microphone and you go out front, you need to also be conscious of where the speakers are placed, and do the same thing. Always keep the microphone, the butt of the microphone towards the speakers, and you'll avoid that as much as possible, and that'll help out. If you're the type of person to try to do an effect, just lay off of that. I mean, it can be cool, but you just run a risk. And when I say effect, I mean like cupping the microphone to get an AM radio effect or something like that. That's, unless you got a set rig and the same sound man every night and you've got it worked out, it's not a problem. Don't just do it on the fly or do it with a strange setup or whatever. It's just going to cause problems. That's another, a cause for major feedback. The effect you're going for to make that little part of the song cool is going to negate itself with the feedback you cause, and it'll ruin it for people. That's basically it on the singers. I won't pick too much on any one subject. My last video was a little long. I want to keep these below 10 minutes. I know people are busy and it's kind of daunting to sit there and watch a 15-minute video. So I'm going to keep these bite-sized. I'll still cover as much as I can of all these things, but just in a more bite-sized thing. So, if I cover too much, I feel like it'll just pass you over and you won't get the most effect out of it. So I'm going to cover little bits at a time, so you let that sink in or see if it applies to you or not, and then you can move on from there. Drums, I talked about that in the first video. One thing, I don't know why it's universal to most drummers, and I don't want to pick on you. I don't have any problem with drummers, or I've always had good luck with drummers in the past, but it seems almost everyone I've ever worked with, they'll get in, they'll set up their gear, even if they are helpful, once they get on there, they're, working their rudiments and playing their beats and, what they should be doing to get prepared for the night, especially if you play a lot of technical songs. You want to be warmed up, because the drums are generally a more physical instrument to play, so you need to be stretched up and stuff. So, but the problem lies when we get to sound check, and he's been playing for 10-15 minutes, and so the sound man says, okay, let's go to tom 1, hit tom 1, and they start hitting, and they're like, oh, that's out of tune. So and then the sound man has to wait on him, and everybody on stage waiting their turn to do their sound check has to wait on him to tune that tom. Get to tom 2, hits it, oh, it's got a warble to it, so back to tuning it, all the way around, and I don't know if having it through the PA or the monitors suddenly, you can hear it better or something, or if they were just more concerned with playing their practice skills or whatever, but try to tune your drums before you get to sound check. That'll speed things up for everyone, because that kind of centers you out there, and that can bring negative energy, and you don't want that. And be conscious. I don't know if I've covered it before, but And a lot of times I'll be hooking up, cables to the snake in front of the kick drum, and they'll just be, working on their John Bonham right in my face, or hitting, I'll be over connecting a tom mic, a floor tom mic, and they'll just be going to town on their China cymbal, and it's right in my ear, and it's you don't want to say something, because I don't know, just be more conscious. That's what this whole video is. Everything is be more conscious of what's going on around you. Bass guitar. I talked about guitar in the last one, and a lot of those things carry over. Obviously not the angling of the cab. Bass frequencies are more omnidirectional. Electric guitar, there's more of a mid-range instrument, and so it's very directional. And what I mean is the speaker, wherever you point it, the highs are just going to cut in that direction. Bass frequencies, they kind of radiate out in a circle around it, no matter how you have it pointed. So you want to be conscious of the room size, because bass frequencies tend to disappear and collect. And what I mean is you be in the middle of the room and you can't hear the bass guitar or the bass drum, at all, and then you step 2 feet over and it's pummeling you, So I'd recommend a wireless system for a bass player, or if you got a sound man, for them to just really move around the room and be open. This is the hard part. Be open to the sound man or yourself adjusting down your bass frequencies. I mean, because it might sound good that particular night, out in the dance floor area sounds pretty decent, but you go out to the bar where everybody's sitting, and getting their drinks, and it's just rattling the glasses, and they can't hear the vocals or anything like that. So you might have to go up there and have them, roll off the bass frequencies a little bit till you find that treble frequency that's kind of resonating in that area. And it may not sound as good on your rig or on stage, but like what I'm trying to do all this for, it's more about the group as a whole, and pleasing the bar owners, the patrons, and just doing what you can do to please as many people and not just yourself. I know playing music in general is kind of synonymous with an ego thing, but it shouldn't be. You should be more concerned with helping everybody out. And as far as setting up on stage with a bass, if that's something you're wondering on, which side you should be on, I'd say it's different in my band, but I'd say set up on the side with the hi-hats. The reason being, you and the drums are, the foundation, and you need to be together as much as possible. And if you're on the opposite side where the ride cymbal is and all that, if you got a kind of a heavy hitter drummer, when he hits the cymbals, if you're close to it and it's close to your ears, that high end is just going to wash out everything. So you'll be flying solo for a little bit until you can hear the beat again, which may not be a problem. But if you're new to playing bass, or have trouble with timing and stuff like that, then I'd definitely just sit on the side with the hi-hats. I mean, if he's a right-handed drummer, it'll be on his left, or vice versa. Just and that way, that hi-hat, 90% of the show is keeping the time, and it's right there. There might be a cymbal close by, but that's also pretty close, and the snare's right there. You'll be able to hear better what he's doing and what time signature and all that. So that's my advice on that, and that's basically it on bass guitar. And all these things will carry over to other instruments like keyboards and stuff, as far as angling your amp. And most of these things are just general things, and I want to explain them in just the most general terms. because there's plenty of people that have already covered these things that I'm talking about, and you can, if you want to get more in depth on any one of these subjects, there's plenty of people to go to. Just Nick, he's really good. Groovy DJs, Groovy DJs, check him out. He really goes into depth, and he knows his stuff. A little abrasive, but I like that. For gear reviews, I recommend Gear Man Dude. He does great stuff. He's thorough, and there's a lot of great YouTube people out there. So make sure you patronize them too. I'm just trying to generalize it and put it in a bite-sized package, so that you can grab it and go, and you can do more research on your own time if it's a certain subject that you feel needs more covering. Last thing I want to talk about is attitude, and this got brought up in a private message that someone sent me, and I think it's really important to talk about, and hopefully I have enough time to talk about it. Let me check my time here. I set my timer that way I can keep myself, I guess I didn't set it. So anyway, attitude, this is important, so we'll get into it anyway. You got to keep a positive attitude. That over all the other things that I've talked about is more important. Even if you're not a great player and all that, the attitude is the important part, and I'll probably cover this again. Pet peeve of mine is songs coming up, or songs ending, and you call out the next song, and the guy's like, nah, I don't want to play that, and it's just for personal reasons. It's not because he broke a stick, or the guitar's not in the right tune or something. It's just like, I'm not feeling it, that's, or you just don't like the song. There's going to be tons of songs that you have to play night after night, like Mustang Sally and Cocaine, that you don't care for, but the crowd, that's what they came for, So just suck it up. I mean, it doesn't take any extra effort to just shut your mouth and play it, just get done with it. It's quicker, and I mean, not playing a song for selfish reasons is not the way to go. I mean, there's a lot of songs that I just really dread playing, but just get them out of the way, get it done, move on, Don't sit there and create negativity, and that's exactly what you're doing. It just causes frustration and negativity, because he's got to sit there and think of another song that we can play, and then you don't want to play that one either, or so don't do that. You got to keep a positive attitude all the time, as much as possible. I know there's going to be bad days, but leave your bad day at home. You come to the club, with your band as a group, and you're a business, basically. You're a team. You need to act as a team and do all things together and help each other out to get, because what you're doing affects their paycheck, so you don't want them doing anything that's going to screw you up, so don't do anything that's going to screw them up. And negativity breeds negativity. So if you're negative and in a bad mood, you're going to put this guy in a bad mood, and he's going to do something to put so-and-so in a bad mood. So just stay in a positive attitude, or fake it, or just keep your mouth shut if you're in just that bad of a place, and move on. You've got a job to do, and there's other people counting on you. There's a bar owner that's paid you to do it. There's people that, worked 40, 50 hours that week. They spent money at the door to come in there. They're paying, $3 and $4 for drinks just to sit there and listen to you. And if you're sitting up there with a scowl on your face, or they can tell that, everybody on stage is in a bad mood, then, it's not fair to them. They've invested a lot into you, so you should do everything you can do to invest back into them, because it's that reciprocating that the music's really about, I think. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up there. Seems like a good spot, and I've ran out of my list here. I burned right through it. I'm going to make some more videos, but make sure you rate the video, if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel. That way when I put out more videos, you can see them right away. And make sure you leave comments. I want some feedback, positive or negative. If there's something I'm not covering that I need to, let me know. If I'm wrong on something, let me know. I want to know. I want to get this information out there, but I want it to be accurate. So if you have a difference of opinion, that's fine. Go ahead and tell me what you think. And I don't want to start an argument. I don't want to start a debate. And don't nitpick on things that are of a certain opinion that aren't facts. Don't sit there and nitpick. That's no fun. So rate, subscribe, comment, and stick around. I'm gonna make some more videos for you. Thanks.